The Vision 2020 is a dream statement that Nigeria will become one of the first 20 economies of the world by the year 2020. Hello and welcome to the Patriot and Television Nigerian. The dream research conducted by economists at an American investment bank, a fallout of which was a prediction that Nigeria would be in the league of 20 top economies by year 2020. This was based on assessment of its abundant human and material resources and on the assumption that the country's resources would be properly managed and channeled to set economic goals, yet Nigeria has realized very little of this potential. Previous efforts at planning and visioning were not sustained. The history of economic stagnation, declining welfare and social instability and corruption has undermined development for most of the past 30 years. This vision was conceived by former President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2006. The blueprint of the Vision 2020 was launched in September 2009 by late President Umaru Yar'Adua. According to Nigerian Vision 2020, the National Council on Vision 2020, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the chairman. It is to provide leadership and direction to galvanize the nation, ensuring the quality of plan document, appropriateness of targets, and practicality of strategies, review of progress and giving further direction, ensuring the active involvement of all stakeholders to achieve the dream. However, the silence of this laudable Vision 2020 looks to have gone into limbo. This will be our focus today on the Patriot on Television Nigerian. I am Peggy Shandy.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country. So goes the opening lines of the 6-line national pledge of Nigeria. Today, not a few, whether young or old, merely recite the national pledge as a matter of routine or tradition, with their hearts being poles apart from the very spirit, creed, and essence of the pledge. Many simply do not understand its purport or feel the import of it, while many others choose to observe the pledge in breach only. Today we have decided to walk on the footpath of the very words of the national pledge, keeping its vision and essence in our hearts, in our souls, and in our minds.
I pledge Nigeria, my country,
to be faithful,
loyal, and honest,
to serve Nigeria with all my strength,
to defend her unity,
and uphold her honor and glory.
So help me God. Nigeria, no doubt, will truly be the giant of Africa, developed and well rated in all indices, if her national pledge is treated with sacred obedience. It's on us, it's our duty and responsibility to make this country a better place. Let's live the pledge.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. This is the Patriot and Television Nigerian, and our guest today is Barrister Mani Emmanuel Ikpebe, a seasoned lawyer who has won many litigations and as well arbitrated on many panels. A man well traveled and a man with uncommon intellect, a straight-jacket minister in the Temple of Justice, a barrister and a public affairs analyst, the class governor of Set 95 of Government College Old Boys Association, Makudi. All right, Barrister Mani, it's nice to have you at the studios of Television Nigerian on the Patriot.
Thank you very much for having me, Peggy.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, you are the class governor of Set 95 of Government College Old Boys.
Yeah, I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's get talking.
Okay.
You know, the Vision 2020 was a wonderful vision crafted by the former President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2006. and launched by President Yaradua in 2009. And looks like 10 years development window it was. Do you think it was set out to address the specific needs of Nigerians looking at the target?
Yeah, thank you very much, Peggy, once again for having me in your studios. You see, before we talk about the Vision 2020, we will still have to go back to Vision 20, Vision 2000 or 2010, yeah. That Vision 2000, that's Health for All by the year 2000 and the rest of it, that Abacha actually started in 1996. Now, it had to be a progressive plan to actually raise the status of Nigeria within the Committee of Nations. So that was what gave the impetus for Obasanjo to actually launch 2006. What Obasanjo looked at was the fact that they could use 10 years as a plan and then roll out specifically several issues that will address everything that was been the problem of Nigeria, from economy to healthcare to education to security, infrastructure, and all of that. And that was captured into a 10-year plan, starting from 2010 to 2020. And that's why you see Yaradua launched it in 2009. And then he actually did that with his, I think it was a 7-point agenda.
Yes, sure.
He did at that time when he launched it. And at the 7-point agenda was supposed to roll out one specific program every year. So it was supposed to be targeted as a 7-year plan. We weren't going to achieve that at that period, but the blueprint and the template will be laid down for every successive government to follow. You pick health, you take care of it, put the infrastructure together, all modalities to make sure that healthcare is done. Education, you rejig the educational system with funding and the curriculum. Agriculture, you look at it the same way. Infrastructure, security, you look at all of it the way it was supposed to go. And that gave birth to what is now the Vision 2020. Whether that has been achieved is a discussion for another day.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Barrister Mani, thank you very much for that beautiful intro. It was so nice. You know that the Vision 2020 was also aimed at making Nigeria to become the most top 20 economies of the world.
Yes.
I don't know if we have achieved that.
No, on paper, yeah, you said so. They have achieved on paper, but with Nigeria sliding into recession in the last twice in the last about 7 years thereabout, you wouldn't say you've achieved that. People in Nigeria live below $1. That's how many of the population live below $1 a day. So you wouldn't say the economy is that vibrant. Salaries are not being paid. Everything that the Vision 2020 was supposed to capture is not working right now. I'm going to take education, for instance. ASU's been on strike for close to almost 2 years. Forget about the pandemic. They just resumed recently, and you're asking questions, why are they on strike? Government implementation or government promises for the last 3 or 5 years thereabout that have not been met. That is why ASU is to go on strike. Now, education is supposed to be the bedrock for whatever it is you want to achieve. So you rejig your educational system and then put all those things together. Look at China, for instance. With a one-child policy, they now had to send their children abroad to school and then come back with that knowledge to come and build up the entire sector that made up China, that's pushing China now to become a powerhouse in world economies. Yes. So the Vision 2020 of pushing Nigeria into one of the largest economies in Africa, we have a population to achieve that. But the policies are there. But implementing those policies have become a problem. And so, no, Nigeria is not anywhere near becoming economically viable as it's supposed to be on paper. Nowhere near it.
Now, what the problem is it that they just love to craft a program together and give it a name, and then it's a window that people just have to use to siphon monies away from the government, not minding whether the implementation was necessary sacrifice? What exactly do you think, in your own words, is the cause for why beautiful projects like this, how laudable they look, yet we're far away from implementation?
We will always be far away from it because of, let me quote Senator Victor Ndomaegba, former Senate Majority Leader. He said, they lack the political will. I had a conversation with him at some point, and he said that they lack the political will. So it is not even about the political will now. It is about the fact that we have leaders who do not have the interest of the country at heart. So the policy is beautiful, very beautiful. You know, you take into cognizance the fact that you want to spread development, you understand, from the grassroots in 10 years, and then you give successive governments templates to build on going forward. But if you do not take off, if you want to build a house, you understand, a penthouse. I mean, you want to build a house now, and then you tell me that you will want me to live in the penthouse.
Yes.
Then I agree with you.
Yes.
But then you've not started from the foundation. How am I going to live in a penthouse? It's not possible. You must start from the foundation because there was something holding the penthouse. Now, that is what is happening with the whole vision thing. So it is, one, a lack of will by our leaders to implement it. Secondly, is the fact that we've consistently have bad leaders who do not have the will of the country, the interest of the country at heart. And then thirdly, some of those projects are bogus and white elephant projects, things that cannot be done. But then we do copy and paste from other clients. You understand? So those three things, in my own opinion, has always been a cog in the wheel of the progress of whatever it is they want to put together.
And so we can decide to name this, according to your words, a visionless vision. Is that what you're saying? All right.
Well, I won't be so callous.
It's all right.
It's a visionless vision
because it's
well, I won't say it's be so callous and say it's a visionless vision. No, it's in as much as it looks bogus. There are still the high points, some very good things that can be picked from it, left and right and all of that. So you can pick those ones, sieve them and put those ones that you know are achievable, and then we can fly with that. That's if we have the will anyway.
Yes, I think this plan or project or vision or dream targeted to produce a better Nigeria for Nigerians was actually meant for the Nigerians. And so if you said that there were high points at some point, do you think Nigerians have actually benefited a bit? And to what extent to which you could say, obviously, that this project has benefited them?
I don't think the project has benefited any Nigeria. Vision 2020 started in 2009. Anyway, let me even say fate was not even kind to Nigeria.
Yes.
I mean, Yaradua, who kick-started it and would have taken over the project, implemented it, had to die midway. You know, he was sick and then couldn't oversee all those things implemented. Then came a Jonathan who, I don't know, was floating all through until he left office. And of course, we know what's happening with the country right now. So it's fate was not even kind to Nigeria, Mother Nature and all of that. But I think that Nigerians largely have not benefited from whatever the vision is supposed to be. The ordinary man had not benefited. How much is minimum with 30,000 naira? How can that take you home? How can that feed you and your family? How can that pay your children's school fees? Now we have an educational system that does not cater to the needs of the 21st century graduate. You understand? We still have curriculums that people will pick, read, cram, regurgitate, and get an A in class, and then when you come out, practicality is not there. Now, I'll give you an example. I'm a lawyer. For being a lawyer, the only time you get to interact with the courts is when you're in law school and it's for 2 weeks. Before they throw you to the wolves after you're called to bar. So that is when you now go out all of there to start learning how to practice. You understand what the law entails. You have no interaction, basically internship and all of that. So if we cannot rejig our educational system that way, it becomes a problem. We will not be able to catch up with the 21st century, with what is happening in the 21st century. Agriculture is still a problem. 80% of the agriculture food we have in Nigeria is at subsistence level.
Yes.
We don't do any mechanized farming. And if you go to the north, you have a lot of your dry season farming, irrigation farming should be done in the north. You understand? Aliko Dangote started his tomato paste factory in Kano. The day he test ran it, there was no tomato anywhere in Nigeria. Because we're not producing enough to meet the demand of turning this thing into paste. You understand? So funds that are supposed to go into agriculture, what happened to them? The real farmers...
And they still have a Minister of Agri.
Yes.
Just sitting there in the office and doing nothing?
The real farmers cannot even access loans to farm. And then you come to infrastructure. If you go to my village, fruits, oranges, the year in, year out, they are destroyed. Why? Because the farmers cannot take it to the market.
Yes.
There's no road. Go to South Africa, go to Zimbabwe. What they do is tar the roads into the farms. make those roads so that the farmers, when they harvest, they can bring it to the market, to the end users. So people who have the value chain, maybe people who are for fruit factories, paste factories and the rest, the farmer can actually transport his goods to where they need them. That is supposed to be the responsibility of government. Those are the things you do. When you put those roads together, you tar the road, the interland into the farms in my village. They carry it from one spot, point A, to where the road is. A car, a truck can live there. The farmers can seek loan and buy trucks that can push all those things. So with a vision like this, this is the way you break it down completely and you make sure that it is done. We're looking at the issue of security. The West is shouting Amotekun. IPOP is doing that. In my opinion, I thought that the issue of state policing is long overdue. And that's why we have, because policing actually is supposed to be an internal thing, a neighborly thing, somebody you know. Growing up, in any neighborhood you grew up, you know the guy who was a thief. You know the guy who smoked weed. You know the guy who was a rascal. You know the good guy. That's the same thing policing is about. So if you make it a county thing, an internal thing, so the man there who knows that is from the state, he knows the person who is a bad person here, so he can easily reach him. Then you carry a Yoruba man because of our federalism and make him commissioner of police in Borno. How is he going to function? Other than the command structure that he has. He can't function. But if a Borno man who knows the place, you understand?
As a commissioner of police.
Not even a commissioner of police, the head of the gang. Maybe just you just put them together. Let's say the vigilante, let's put a vigilante, but they have the status of police. They can arrest, prosecute and all of that, the way you have state and county police in the US. So you come there and say, that guy, he knows everybody, house to house.
In the United States, there are states, police,
county
police,
yes,
and the federal police.
And the federal police, which is the FBI. You understand? So what happens there is, the man knows. If a new person enters the town, he knows.
He knows.
If a rascal steps into the town, he knows.
We're going to take a very short break, and when we return, Barrister Money will continue with us and blow hot. Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned again on the Patriot and Television Nigerian. Barrister Money, why is the fear for not establishing the state polices and all the county polices, in Nigeria? What do you think is responsible?
No.
Is it a fear of
no, it's not
states taking over?
No. States will always take over. But the point is, we are always bogged down by our inheritance, our colonial inheritance. Right. That's the word I'm looking for. So we're not moving fast enough to develop at the pace the world is developing. You understand? The Police Act was a law that was enacted, I think, in '64 or what. They just amended the act after almost 60 years in 2021.
What?
You understand? They just amended it in 2021 after almost 60-something years. I can't even remember when the first one was enacted again. You understand?
The law seeking to...
No, the law establishing the police.
The police.
The Nigerian police.
The Nigerian police.
Yes, the act. There's an act setting up the police force.
Yes, all right. Yes. Okay, so what happened to the SARS, the NSAS stuff?
No, the NSAS stuff SARS was actually created as a way of getting mufti, plainclothes detective, to move onto the street, because it was created, I think, in 1996. Also, when there was a clash between the police and soldiers in Lagos, and policemen were afraid of going on the street for fear of being beaten or attacked. So they created SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad, where these ones, they come as plainclothes detective and mingle with policemen. I mean, mingle with people on the street, and they were able to apprehend armed robbers and all of that.
Oh,
You understand why? That's why SARS was created as a unit of the police.
Now it's been scrapped.
It's been scrapped. We have SWAT now.
Yes.
That one is stopping. Story for another.
It's another day.
You
So the
understand?
amendment.
But no, let's just get back to what we're saying. What I'm actually saying is the fact that if you put all this vision together, you understand, and you seek to implement it generally using templates that will work for your people, we won't be where we are. We won't be where we are. So you pick agriculture, and you pick agriculture, health, education, security, infrastructure. You pick all of them, and then you put key people in areas where these things can be done.
Yes.
A lot of people have proven that it can be done. Fashola did in Lagos State, for Christ's sake.
Wow. We will have you again and again and again on this program.
Anytime.
This is because
Anytime.
you are blasting here real hot. And I want Nigerians to know that you are a man of an uncommon intellect. I must appreciate you so much. You just blow my mind.
Anytime, any day, my brother.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Barrister Mani, you know, you read law and only 2 weeks you were able to interact with the law in the law school, 2 years, but you know this law. I don't know.
Well, I've been doing it for 13 years.
For 13 years.
Yes,
So,
I should know
oh,
it.
you were 13 years at the bar.
Yeah, I'm 13 years at the bar.
Okay, no wonder you have also handled a lot of arbitration and you also won a lot of litigations too.
I'm steeped in it.
It's
So,
okay. Tomorrow I'm sure you're going to be in the court, but please answer this question.
Yes.
Of course, as a matter of implementation, you mentioned a lot about implementation here.
Yes.
And implementation is a problem, but it was a government and private sector collaboration or participation. The Vision 2020 was all about. Now, in retrospect, what do you think this platform was aiming at, or would have aimed at, or is intending to aim in terms of rapid development economically?
It was aimed at actually moving Nigeria from where we are to where we ought to be. You understand? One of the things Nigeria have in abundance is raw materials. We have both human resources and natural resources. You understand? A country that is growing exponentially at close to over 200 million. I used to tell my friends that if you carve a region or a unit and start a business, in no time you will become wealthy because there's a population that will always cater to the service you're bringing. It's that simple. That is what China did. That is what India did. The headquarter of IT in the world today is where? It's not Silicon Valley, it's in Bangalore. It's in India. That's the headquarter of IT. So it is what we can leverage on with our population, the human resources and the natural resources. But then, like I said, there's always the problem of implementation. You understand? You put these policies nicely, you bring a blue paper to it, you bring a communique to it and the rest of it. How do you go about implementing these things and what exactly do you want to do? Those are the questions that our leaders have not answered till today. So if they are able to answer that question and still go back to the drawing board and say, okay, within this frame of time, we will achieve this one. Let us even take security, for instance. There are issues of security all over the country. Today there's banditry, there's kidnapping. Nowhere is insulated, nobody is safe. You understand? And why is it like that? It's because people have now seen it as lucrative business. And the first thing that man goes for, because it's a creature of nature, is survival. So people are using that to survive. And why can't we stamp it out? It's just because there's a lackluster attitude of the security forces. Not forgetting selfishness and of course greed that maybe a few persons are making money out of it. So we can tackle insecurity if we look at the surrounding circumstances. You understand? You want to tackle, okay, who are the bandits around your place? Are the place, okay, we equip the vigilantes to bring out the bandits. They will bring them out, they know them. They know them. So but we can't do that. And then the superstructure we impose from the center becomes a problem. Wow. It becomes a huge problem because everything is controlled from the center. From the center. Yes. The governor of a state cannot give orders to the commissioner of police. Because the commissioner of police is answerable only to the inspector general of police, who is answerable to the president. So you see where our problems come from.
So, but I think we're going to discuss. You sound so deep when it comes to security. And it looks like you're vast in many things.
Well, I study.
You study, yeah. Things like I'm almost deviating from the Vision 2020 and just carried away by the interest of how deep you're dissecting security. I think we're going to bring you here someday for security issues to discuss.
No
Yes,
problem, my brother.
but
Anytime.
please, do you think, if from all I've heard that you have discussed, of course, the timid Nigerians, young men and women, Nigerians are watching and listening keenly.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to pass their comments and they'll drop their opinions and also contribute to this wonderful discussion. But do you think there's a need for extension of time?
Of course. They should go back to the drawing board.
Because 2020 has just come and
Yes.
passed.
No, we can come up with another 10-year plan.
Okay.
You understand? That it doesn't stop. The politicians, the leaders who actually came up with this, they might not be there, but the entity called Nigeria is still existing. So we can always come up with another plan, come back and rejig and say, okay, but first you must do a needs analysis first.
Yes.
And then you go back and look at the old plan and why you didn't meet up the plan.
Yes.
You understand?
Very well.
So if you're able to look at that, the pitfalls, those shortcomings, those shortfalls you have that made you not to achieve that, you can push that away and now set up another 10-year plan and then look for somebody devoid of sentiments. And when I mean sentiments, all sentiments, religious, nepotistic, favoritistic sentiments, and then put somebody there who can put up a team that can drive it. Of course, we can always go back and put another 10-year plan.
Yes, we're going to take the last question now so that we can end this program. We have just 3 minutes to go.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Barrister Mani Emmanuel Ikpebe. It's nice having you again.
Pleasure.
I want to ask you this last question and so we can close. Now, certainly, we have not discussed the details, the scriptures of the vision word to word, what it was, but the holistic expectation for the objective of the project was actually aimed at, eradicating poverty and placing Nigeria, which is the giant of Africa, in the nations of the world, top 20 economies of the world. Yes, whether we have not achieved that or we have a bit. To say that we have achieved nothing, I think, will be a facade. Now, do you think there are areas you must emphasize where there were weak lines that you think, and nobody talks about the Vision 2020 anymore. I don't know if the government is interested.
We've shelved it already. Just like every item, put it on the shelf. We've shelved it already. That's like
it's like it came to die as soon as when Yaradua died. Oh, in blessed memory. May God bless him where he is. Yeah.
So
so weak lines.
Yeah.
Or have we forgotten about the 2020?
Well, I wouldn't say we've forgotten about it. I think we've been borrowing from it and implementing with different other nomenclature. That's what has been happening. We've been picking from the document. That is the Vision 2020 document. I've been implementing in several
different
nomenclature. Like that. That's what we've been doing. You understand? But coming with the Vision 2020 now, nobody's looking at that. And of course, that has the Vision 2020. That one has elapsed now by a fraction of time.
Yes.
We're in 2021.
2021.
So that has elapsed by a fraction of time. So getting that one together is I think, in my humble opinion, we should forget about it and go back to the drawing board and set another vision. You could do a Vision 2040. You understand? And put another 20 years and say, okay, from now to 2040, this is where we expect Nigeria to be. You understand? And then you are putting key people in place on what to do. One of the things, I'll say this as an aside, since this is the last thing I'm saying, one of the things I think they should do is to find a way to amend the 1999 Constitution and amend it for good, so that you can decentralize power. Maybe we'll discuss that some other day.
Wonderful. And that's going to be the next topic of our discussion, the amendment of the Constitution. A call by Barrister Mani Emmanuel Ikpebe for the for the amendment of the 1999 Constitution. We're in 2020 and we're still talking about 99. Oh, what a joke. Anyway, that's good that we know that 2020 came and just is gone not too long, and which is the need for why we called for evaluation of the project.
It's a new decade.
Yes.
So we'll see what this
So
decade
this is
brings.
a new decade. Thank you very much. Well, Barrister Man, it's been nice having you in the studios of Television Nigerian on the Patriot.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you on the Patriot. I think we can have you again and again. We have been talking to Barrister Mani Emmanuel Ikpebe, who has elucidated that Nigeria's economic potential is well recognized. It is the biggest economy in the West African sub-region, given the country's considerable resource endowment and coastal location. There is potential for a stronger growth. Please drop a comment and let's have your contributions, suggestions, and opinions. You can always like, share our programs on all our social media handles and also sponsor programs on the Patriot on Television Nigerian. On the next time, I am your regular host, Peggy Shandi, and many thanks for watching.